Okay, hi everybody, it's me, Bonka 922. Um, it's not Thursday. This is okay. I was on Facebook, and there's this guy. I'm not gonna say names, but on Facebook, there's this guy who likes to, he tags me in different news outlet, different news things regarding regarding anime and manga, but also other things like movies and such. But he said about mappa that they're in the process of supposedly they're going to be doing One Punch Man season 3, of course Doro season 2, and she said finally get an animation of Dandadan. Now, at first I'm like, what the hell is Dandadan? To me, it sounded almost like the same kind of title of Doro Hey Doro. Because you see how, like, Dan, Doro Hey Doro, the front of the beginning of the title of the manga and the end of the title are the same. But anyway, I figured, what the? I might as well read this. Oh my god! I do not take this lightly, saying. Now I did some research. Okay, the mangaka of this story, is the story, and he does the art. His name is Tatsu Yukinobu. He was the assistant to the mangaka of Chainsaw Man. After reading the whole manga, I kind of understand now why that is in great detail. Now, the story behind Dandadan, and I read the whole thing. I think it's like, I read, 128 chapters? This is a synopsis. I'm just going to read the synopsis from my anime list. After being aggressively rejected, Momo Ayase finds herself sulking when she stumbles upon a boy being bullied. Saved by her rash kindness, the occult-obsessed boy attempts to speak to her about supernatural interests he believes they share. Rejecting his claims, Ayase proclaimed that she instead is a believer in ghosts, starting an argument between the two over which is real. In a bet to determine who is correct, the two decide to separate and visit locations associated with both the occult and the supernatural. Ayase visiting the former and the boy visiting the latter. When the two reach their respective places, it turns out that neither was wrong and that both the occult and ghosts do exist. This marks the beginning of Ayase and the boy's adventure as they attempt to fix the surreal, supernatural, and occult elements around them to return to a normal life. Now, when they say the occult, it's a mixed bag. But I do not take this lightly saying this. This show is bonkers. Holy. Now, obviously, the assistant of Chainsaw Man, the artwork in this manga is bonkers. It's so detailed. It's so freaking detailed. I don't want to make comparisons to like Gantz and One Punch Man, but it does feel like that in a lot of ways, especially One Punch Man. Because in the manga, the occult references, like kaijus and beasts, but it also references outer space, aliens. Okay. And on the other side of the coin is Ayase, who believes in ghosts, and that goes into the category of not just ghosts, but yokai. So, without giving away too much that happens in the show, I will say this much. Because this is really just the first impression so far. I read the whole freaking thing. It is hilarious. That's number one. The thing is funny. It is hilarious. Hilarious up the wazoo. There's some cursing. Like, I was like, yo, okay. Some cursing. Okay. And it it goes like the beginning is more like, okay, it's about them encountering these things. And then the boy, by the way, for reference, because they don't say his name in the synopsis. The boy's name is Ken Takakura. However, Momo, this is the joke. This joke was like, I had to get time to figure this out. Doesn't call him that because that is the same name of a celebrity. It's supposed to be an actor. Think, because they reference it in the manga. Think of Clint Eastwood, like this guy, Ken Takakura, the main character. His name is the same as the name of an actor that she loves and like really likes, and she doesn't call him that. She calls him, what's he called? Okakura? Yeah, it's a different name, like with an O, I think. Anyway, that's those basically the two characters. So you got Ken and you got Momo. There's Momo's grandmother. You know what's weird though? You don't see Ken's parents. That's a kind of weird thing. But anyway, the one thing I want to give you guys to really focus with this manga is this. And my understanding is this is going to get animated. It focuses on two specific things: yokai and aliens. And I do not take this sitting down here. The alien part? Oh my god. Like when you hit like chapter 80, 90, it's like, god damn! Where did this come from? But the yokai part is prevalent. It's there. It's just like I find that the yokai part is shown majority of the manga so far, but they don't really. It's not something that's a constant. It's more like they do it in the beginning. They'll have little snippets of it as the manga goes along, but right now, and they do kind of do something towards the end of the current chapters of something with the yokai and the ghosts and everything. But most of what the main plot is focusing on are these freaking aliens. And it's ain't rainbows and sunshine, I'll tell you right now. It gets gory as hell. Oh my god. And I can honestly say, knowing that this guy was the assistant to the mangaka of Chainsaw Man, I see that. It's pretty prevalent. Obviously it's not devils. We're talking aliens, but still it's prevalent there based on what is shown as you go along. But logistically, as far as first impressions are concerned, the artwork is otherworldly. Like it amazes me when I see a manga like this and I'm reading it and I see the artwork, and the immediate reaction I have is, how in God's green earth was this guy able to do this? It is so detailed. It is so detailed and so well done artist-wise. I'm like, oh my word. And he does the story too, so kudos on that as well. But it's like it's really interesting how it goes about on his business, and obviously, it's not your typical way. You know, I mean, halfway through the manga, it does get kind of serious, but they punch and go, and they find ways to you know go from there. But I do like it because I've never seen a manga do this. Because you're talking about two different things that are not like each other. Aliens and the occult, ghosts, apparitions, and yokai. And eventually, as you go reading the manga, there's at one point, I think, where the main character makes a revelation about the yokai when it involves the aliens. But it's and it's gory. No, it's not. It is. Yeah, there is. But I don't want to give away too much. But just to say, as far as I'm concerned right now, this gets a 10 out of 10. First impressions right now. I find it to be, well, like I said, it's similar. It is. It is very similar to Chainsaw Man. And it makes sense because he was the artist of, he was the assistant to the mangaka of Chainsaw Man. But at the same time, it's obviously, it's detailed, the artwork, and the story is different because it's not the same thing as Chainsaw Man, obviously. But the theme, the way it's shown as you start reading, you can see how the artwork might be familiar with Chainsaw Man. But like I said before, I think the artwork for me is like Chainsaw Man, but I more or less reference One Punch Man. And to some extent Gantz. Because we're talking about spaceships here. We're talking about aliens. We're talking about spaceships. We're talking about insanely detailed artwork. Especially, there's some scenes, there's a few scenes where he's just drawing like freaking groceries. And I'm like, holy crap, that's really detailed. It is so beautiful to look at. Story-wise, it's one of those mangas where obviously it's like kind of like a group thing. As you go along, you get introduced to new characters, and they join the cause and whatnot. But they get their shine. I mean, it's only 128 chapters, and I've seen so far, besides these two, there's like about, I want to say 2 other characters, plus somebody else who just recently had her little thing going on. But I think they got all their shine in. Basically, they had their own freaking battle. Like, they had a major freaking battle just recently. And now they stopped where, and there was a revelation kind of thing going on as well towards the end. But I don't want to give away too much. But at least to say, if you guys have a chance, read Dandadan. It's very intriguing to me because I can't say how many mangas are out there that involve aliens. One Punch Man, Gantz maybe, but this one's kind of special with the violence, with the story, with the insane looking artwork. It's just, and there's a lot of puns and parodies. There's some parodies from other animes in there. I'm not gonna say what it is. At your discretion. This is Bankai 922. Go check out Dandadan. Weird title. I was surprised. I'm like, okay. I read the whole freaking thing. Cried a little at the end. The last couple of chapters. They get a little sad. A little sad. I'll see you guys later.